Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Starting. Well, there's still some people coming in, but that's okay. They'll just have to have a late slip and just get here when they get there and take it, well, bide their time. We are here at the Duncan Showroom. It's not St. Patty's Day, it's post St. Patty's Day. And for pre Patty's Day, we had Pierre Schreier, who was here with a couple of his friends. And as a matter of fact, they played last night with these guys on Pender Island, I believe it was, where they just ripped it up. Everyone had a great time. This afternoon, Daniel had the opportunity to play in Duncan at another venue, which was sold out and done for the afternoon concert. It's a different group of people. And because he was already in the area, we asked if he would please come up and give us a showroom show, because he has not yet been in the new showroom, and it's very much of a treat to have him here. As you all know, because that's probably why you're all here. Now, the nice thing is he's got some great friends that he seems to hang out with all the time, Adam Dobres being one, and Adrian. Now, Adrian Dolan is just, every time I see him, he brings more and more neat things to work with and just add to the whole spice of what's going on. And tonight's going to be a spicy one. It's going to be one full long set because, well, we have to get Adrian to the ferry. And it's going to take a hell of a long time to get all this equipment out of here. But it's a simple thing. It's about Irish music. It's about Celtic music. It's about St. Paddy's. It's about fiddle music. It's about gathering of people to celebrate and to get excited and let the music flow into your body and just kind of make your fingers snap and your toes tap. Now, if anyone wants to dance, we do have a little place over here where we're going to roll up that rug, because some of this music is a little infectious, but it's also good to sit back and appreciate. I don't want to turn those knobs off. There. Yeah. Anyway, Daniel Lapp, bring your crew on. Let's get this St. Paddy's Day, post St. Paddy's Day on the show.
Good evening. How are ya? Good. Hey, good. So, yes, very happy to be here in John's lair. We did play earlier today in Chemainus and had a show last night on Pender. So we're feeling pretty warmed up. We're all pretty busy. These guys especially are on the road. I don't travel that much anymore, but it's always a special treat when we can all get into the same place at the same time. And so we've known each other for almost 20 years or so, and sort of more formally formed this trio about 5 years ago. When we, after playing for over 15 years or so, we had our first rehearsal to get ready for a gig opening for the Chieftains in Cape Breton. Yeah, a big Celtic Colors Festival. So big stage, 5,000 people. We thought, well, we've been playing gigs for 20 years without a rehearsal, but maybe we should have one rehearsal. And so we had one rehearsal to get ready for that gig, and we, you know, after taking a moment, stopping for a moment and having a chat and working on some stuff and sharing some new tunes with each other, we thought it'd be fun to take the music in a bit of a different direction. And so that's what we've been noodling around with. And again, we've only performed a handful of times since then, but we hope that you enjoy this approach to some of our traditional tunes and some original tunes. As John mentioned, I think we will just play one set, probably go till around 9 o'clock or so, something like that. Hope that's okay with you guys. If you have to get up and go to the bathroom or get a drink or dance, that's fine. And we'll talk a little bit, but mostly we're just going to play. So, all right. And so it begins. Thank you very much. There's a set of jigs there at the end. First two tunes. We're having some fun with electronics up here. Yeah. First two tunes I wrote for a couple friends of mine. One of my, well, not one of, but the hero fiddler for me, a fellow named Jarvis Benoit, lived in Halifax. A carpenter in Halifax. Was, in my mind, the greatest fiddler on the planet. And his son, Louis Benoit. So Jarvis and Louis' jigs. And then another one that I wrote about 15 years ago or so, which I forget the name of. Oh, Old as the Hills. Old as the Hills. Oh, typical that I'd forget it 2 days after my birthday. Thank you. All right. This is our list of tunes. The back of last night's pizza box. That's right. That was Breakfast in the Ferry, wasn't it? Yeah. Who? I feel like we've done them all today already. Yeah. This is good. How about sorry you guys. Well, how about Blue Ribbon? A couple of reels. About 25 years ago, I went to Scotland with Spirit of the West, and before we went on that tour, I learned a bunch of Scottish tunes, thinking that that was the thing to do, so I could sit in on jam sessions, etc. Oh, it was more than 25 years ago. That's amazing. Wow. Anyway, when I got there, well, in the sessions, here's this Canadian fiddler in their sessions in Edinburgh, and they asked me to play tunes from my neck of the woods, from where I was from. And, I mean, I had a lot of Canadian fiddle tunes, but it made me start to think that I didn't have any BC fiddle tunes. And when I came home, I started to ask some of my mentors from Prince George and Quesnel and Vernon and all that whole scene that I grew up with. And a lot of them had tunes. They just had never told anyone. No one had ever asked, and they'd never played their tunes in public in most cases. So we have well over 1,000 original BC tunes in a collection in a couple of briefcases in my house, which will someday get published. And it started a whole thing for teaching for the last 20-some years. And certainly in my own repertoire, I focus a lot on the BC tunes. And it inspires me to write, and Adrian's written some amazing tunes. Adam has written some lovely tunes and has a new CD, actually. And there's lots of tunes being written every day in BC, so we have a pretty healthy fiddle tradition out here in the West. So here's a couple reels. First one I wrote, second one was written by a wonderful fiddler from Oyama, BC, named Bob Montgomery. Woo! G again or D? Let's do D. D? Yeah, D. We did it earlier today in G. We're going to do it in D. Yeah. It's a tune I wrote for my dad. For all the dads. I'd just been reading some of Alistair MacLeod's, this is going back a few years, just some of those short stories he wrote on about all these Cape Breton characters. Beautiful stories, intense stories, but just kind of going into the depth of the character that, I mean, certainly, you know, he was sort of talking about the Cape Breton culture. It's almost like, I guess part of what I was thinking of was character is unique, you know, when you see someone with personality, character that's different than everyone else, and in some ways it's getting harder. Seems like maybe it's getting harder and harder to live with that kind of character, just to be different. And so many of, when I think of my grandpa and uncles and my dad, they were all just so unique and colorful, and I hope we don't lose that. So it's called For Our Fathers. you had a good weekend? Yeah? Did you go out and do some St. Paddy's Day things Friday? Playing this kind of music, we've done our share of St. Paddy's Day gigs. I did one 1-hour gig. It was very civilized this year. It's kind of nice. How about you? Oh yeah, you played with Pierre.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You had a nice quiet night. How'd you get it? Yeah. Were you in studio or something? Nice. A rare night off for this man. Wow. That's good. So here's part of what we were experimenting with when we were working on new arrangements is just drawing from other influences, musical influences, and applying them to fiddle tunes. So this is one of those, the results of one of those experiments. Adam has released a new album, his first, recently. Yes. Of solo guitar music. Did you bring any CDs? Okay, good.
One hidden under a seat.
So I'm putting you on the spot, but we'd love to hear something.
My great-grandmother came from Russia to Canada when she was 14 years old after her family was killed. Kind of a sad story. And they put her on her boat all by herself when she's 14 years old. She got to Canada and she's orphaned and made a life for herself. And that's why I'm sitting here right now. It's a pretty amazing story. This is dedicated to her. It's like a sad and hopeful song.
What's it called?
It's called Frida's Journey. Her name was Frida.
Slow D. Slow D, D minor. Slow D.
Yes.
So this next tune, sort of, Adam had this little sort of riff, and we just kind of kept working on that, working with that, and that's still what we're doing with it. It's titled Slow D. It's in D, and it's slow. Yeah. I think I'll play the other fiddle. Yeah. Sorry, Ed. The next one's called B minor. Fast. B minor fast. Maybe Fishcakes after that. Fishcakes?
F-shot medium?
I think we'll do a couple more for you. We've talked a little bit about Cape Breton tonight. With our friend Sonia in the house, so Cape Bretoner at heart. And roots, right? But this next tune was a tune inspired by, that I wrote, inspired by a fellow named Jerry Holland, who's one of the great Cape Breton musicians, fiddlers. And like a lot of Cape Bretoners, Jerry kind of brought Cape Breton with him everywhere he went. So he'd be touring around the world, and basically it's like a traveling Cape Breton. Stories, jokes, tales, folklore, stretched stories, expanded on facts, and also somehow he would manage to get to a grocery store. This still mystifies me to this day, because I was with him quite a bit when we did some touring together, and I was with him a lot because we were traveling together. And on a couple of occasions, we were billeted at people's houses. And this one very vivid morning in particular, I woke up and I could hear all this chatter going on in the house. So I got out of bed, and again, we didn't know these people. We just sort of arrived midnight after the concert. And followed the sounds to the kitchen. And there was our host sitting at the table drinking coffee, and Jerry was at the stove cooking fish cakes with ingredients that he had brought. I don't know when he went shopping, but he brought all the stuff for fish cakes, made the coffee for them, and there they were sitting, being entertained by stories about Cape Breton. So I wrote this tune called Fish Cakes. Switch fiddles for this too. I'm enjoying this. This is fun. Adrian Dolan over here, the magician. What haven't you played yet tonight? You haven't played the accordion yet. Get that accordion out. We got one more set of tunes for you. Good, just one more? Is that what you mean? Good? Good, just one? I'm teasing you. I would never take that the wrong way, even if you meant it. Adam Dobres over here. The guitars. And yes, my name is Daniel, and we live, well, Adrian lives in Vancouver now, and I'm straddling Victoria and Pender Island, which is where Adam also lives now, Pender Island. So we spend lots of time on ferries, let's just put it that way. But it's worth it, right? It's worth it.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, so far.
Don't they say you spend half your life sleeping? I think you spend half your life on the ferry.
Yeah. Or in fair lineups or something. Yeah. Anyway, we live in a beautiful part of the world. Wouldn't you agree? Yep. Feel very, very, very lucky. So I want to thank Long John for asking us. He heard we were in the neighborhood, and well, Adam was here a couple nights ago, but this is the first time I've been to this new venue. And what a hoot. I mean, I expected nothing less, but it's just amazing. I want to spin some of those records back there, though. Man, that's some serious record collection back there. So we're going to finish off with a couple tunes I wrote, and you're going to play in the middle. Is it a Dan MacDonald tune? Yeah. We're going to go to Cape Breton again. Boy, we got a lot of Cape Breton stuff. Maybe it was because our first rehearsal was getting ready to go to Cape Breton, so we just subconsciously But well, we probably played about half these tunes anyway, our original tunes. And this one here we give a little Cuban vibe to, just because we like that too.
A little more dance fiddle in here.
He means lots more. Sure. I don't know. What do you want to play? What instrument? Why don't you just pick an instrument? Sure.
Which one?
Yeah.
Tim Tam?
Yeah. Sure. No, it's good. That very last tune was written by a fellow named Leonard Sexsmith, he's a welder in Prince George. Yeah. And yeah, he was a welder. And he wrote many, many great tunes. He was really one of my favorite composers of the BC tunes. So maybe we'll start with some other BC tunes. Want to kind of do that? Yeah? I mean, we can go Irish, we can go Scottish, we can maybe, we should throw an Irish or a couple Irish tunes in there. Why don't you start off with something? Yeah. This is Adrian's Mandola. Mandola. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Start with some jigs.
3, 2, 1, go.
What do you say we come back to Duncan and have a dance sometime? Yeah? Okay. We'll be in touch. Thank you.